Good evening, everyone. For this project, I did building language skills with your child. For my first tip, I want to focus on being present with your child. This means to make sure you're always interacting with them. If you're sitting in the living room and they're playing on the floor, you want to make sure that you're either playing with them or that you're observing them while you're doing what you're doing. By observing, you need to look for behaviors that are meeting milestones, going above milestones, some stuff that might be below milestones that you might want to keep an eye on. Look at how they're interacting with other children in the home, how they're interacting with adults in the home. Look at the language skills that they're using. Do they need to use more language skills? Do they need to use less language skills? These are great ways to really get a clue on where your child at with their language skills. My tip for the second one is engage physically with your child. Don't always just sit there and observe them. Get down on the floor and play with them. If they're playing with blocks, grab a couple blocks, start building a house. Ask your kids questions. What does this look like to you? That is part of tip number 3. Making sure you're using words and interacting verbally with your child every day. When you are building, use that question such as, what are you making? That's awesome. What is that for? What does it do? When you're having a normal conversation in the car, what do you see out your window? What color is the sky today? Oh, what do you think makes it that color? Just simple questions like that are open-ended are a great way to help build language skills with your child. Part of using those verbal skills is tip number 4, building their vocabulary by using new vocabulary. When I say build vocabulary with using new words, so for example, my child is 4 years old, well, almost 4. So for his building vocabulary, words that I've been trying to introduce is focusing on sight words, color words, months, road names, and family names. I'm trying to build up the vocabulary of common things that he will hear to help him get a better understanding of his surroundings. Tip number 5 is to make sure that you're using those open-ended questions anytime it's possible. So for example, when you use the open-ended question, it helps build their reading, comprehension skills, and their thinking skills. So if I was reading the book Down on the Farm with my child, I could ask him, what does he see in the picture? What sound do you think that animal makes? Do you think it's going to make that sound in the picture? Why do you think it's going to make that sound? What all do you see? Do you hear? Do you smell? Do you taste? Are all great open-ended questions to start with. Another great open-ended question is look at your W's. When, where, why, what. Those are all great questions to also ask, and we all know kids love to say why. My son said it all day today. So the next tip is to read daily to your child. We always strive for 20 minutes a day, and it's also something we ask our parents to do in our classroom, is to make sure they're reading 20 minutes a day with the child. When the child reaches kindergarten age, then the child can read to you once they begin reading. Or as you're reading along, find words that they know and let them read just those sight words to you. That's a great way to build their vocabulary as well. Tip number 7 really comes into play with telling what you know. Share. Tell stories about your childhood. Have grandparents share their stories. Children love to hear about things that happen in real life to their family. My son loves to hear about stories when I was little. My dad loves to tell them. So that's a great opportunity for my dad as a grandparent to build skills with my son. And it's also a great opportunity for me to build skills with my son at home by telling him things that happened, whether it be from my husband's and my dating relationship, our childhood, or even when he was a baby. They love to hear stories, and that's a great way to share your family values as well. Number 8 is respond to emotions. Don't always just comfort your child, When your child is sad, be sure you engage in that emotion. So your child is sad, ask them why they're sad. What made them feel sad? Also, make sure you teach them other vocabulary. That's tip number 9. So, as we're engaging and responding to their emotions, we need to make sure we give them words to describe those emotions. Oh, you're crying. Are you sad, mad, angry, frustrated? And teach them what these words mean. So, when the child is sad, is when a lot of times we want to engage, but make sure we look at all the emotions. You see a child come out of school with a big smile on their face, all happy and jumping around. Make sure you know why they're smiling. Maybe they got an awesome prize that day at school. Maybe their teacher made them star student of the day. Maybe your child woke up happy. Ask them, did you have a great dream last night? Did you sleep good? These are all great opportunities to help build conversation skills with your child and learn about their emotions and teach them about their emotions and how they feel. One of the craziest tips that most people think is listen to music. You would not believe the vocabulary that children learn from listening to music. Music is a great way to teach the vocabulary because they hear it over and over and over again. When you really think about this, think about the ABC song. It's a song, it's a nursery rhyme type situation, so we say it all the time to teach kids their ABCs. Listen to music. My son has learned new words from listening to music while I clean the house this summer while I'm on summer break from teaching. These are great ways to help children build those language skills. We use these language skills as well in the classroom by playing music for songs such as counting, ABCs, shapes, and there's so many other ones that we use, brain breaks. They all help them build vocabulary. When you are working with your child, always use words. We were given a mouth. We need to use it to help our children learn to use theirs. A child may be delayed, and that's okay. Work hard, help them, and always stay engaged.